Hello and welcome to my video on replacing your hard drive on your PC tower. Firstly, you're going to unscrew the case cover on the back here. There's two screws back here. You unscrew those, pull off your case cover, and you want to unplug it as well from the electric mains for your safety reasons. Also, when you don't want to touch inside your PC on the main board, the circuit board that has very delicate circuitry, which can be damaged quite easily by the electrostatic in your fingers. So best advice there is to wear like a they called it an electrostatic wristband when you're going inside your computer. Okay, this hard drive here basically sits inside your PC tower right there with two screws, and it has your power cable there and your IDE cable there, which plugs in right onto the motherboard there where you see my finger. Okay, and it'll say it on the motherboard for your hard drive where to connect. Okay, so we're just going to hopefully you can see that. I'm going to unscrew it here. There's also two screws on the other side of the case. You'd have to take off the other case cover to access the screws for the other side of this. So in total there's 4 holding your hard drive in. For speed and simplicity, I've already unscrewed those. Whoops, a little clumsy here. Okay, we just unscrew it there. This hard drive failed. There's many different symptoms of failed hard drives. This one here is making funny clicking noises before it started to crash, and also a black screen coming up. The white writing in a message saying that it's disk boot failure. Okay, so we're going to replace that and set that aside. This new one here, this 160 gig hard drive, that should be more than ample for my needs. Again, there's your IDE cable. Your newer hard drives, that cable where it plugs in, which is your SATA type hard drives, are a lot smaller. They're about less than half that size. That's your newer ones. Also your electric for your newer ones are a bit different as well, but it's the same basic idea. They plug into the back. Before you put it in, there's a tiny little pin here. I don't know if you can see it that well. That basically comes off with either needle nose pliers, or if you have a bit long fingernails, and that helps as well. And that plugs onto these terminals here, and that's quite important. That's set at master setting. We'll get into other settings later in other videos, and I have it on this also in more detail on my web page on www.netechx.net. So make sure that's on master. You can run another hard drive off this. The other one would be slave, and you would need a different cable. You would just plug it into there, but we won't get into that at the moment. So we'll just plug that back in and put the power back in. And that just basically slides back in here. It's a bit tricky to get in there, not much space there. And again, just basically screw everything back in. Make sure it's fairly firm. Now when you switch the PC on, I'm going to have another video and information on my site about how to access BIOS. That's your basic input-output system. You need to get into that in order to make sure that the hard drive is recognized. Plus now we want to load an operating system onto the hard drive. So we're going to put the Windows XP Pro or Vista disk into the CD tray or DVD tray. We need to get into BIOS. That's by switching the machine on and continuously either pressing F2 or the delete key. But I will get into more detail in another video on how to access the BIOS. So you'll want to get into your BIOS and set the boot order to boot from CD-ROM first. And then you put, like I said, your Windows XP disk in, and that will load the operating system onto your new hard drive. So look out, I'm going to be doing a video on how to access the BIOS shortly. Okay, thanks very much.